moments like eating dinner or just watching cars go by and turn them into learning moments.
Ooh, look, red car.
Yes! And it's moving awfully fast.
Blue car.
Yes! The man in the red car is about to meet the man in the blue car. Get himself a pretty pink ticket.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the To Be Determined show right here on TNT-radio.net. I am the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and joining me is my co-host, the former NWA Women's World Champion, Renadel Pile Driver, Tasha Simone. Sis, how you doing tonight?
5, 4, oh, sorry, I thought it was my turn to count backwards. I just have to say this for all of these idiots who think they know football, who think that the Texans are the top of the AFC. They got schooled by Tom Brady and the Patriots. Other than that, 4 million people pissed off. Who knows how many more to go, but the Patriots defense looks like a who's of the SEC. I just had to say it.
The Patriots suck. I hate them. If the bus exploded and nobody died, but everybody got kind of hurt, everybody burned their toenails or something, I would be happy. I hate them. Go Dolphins. And our newest co-host from Beyond Ringside Infamy, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight?
Doing wonderfully well. It's been a great week. I have no complaints. I'm past the flu, getting my voice back, except for still trying to cough up a kneecap every once in a while. And I'm actually one of those people who got in so many debates over the weekend going, man, the Texans are great. The Texans are a good team. However, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots have a strong tendency to rise to the occasion when it's a really big game, unless, of course, it's the New York Giants.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
I just have to say this about the Texans, and I'm not hating on them at all because I do think that they've had a tremendous season. If they do what a winning team will do,
learn.
They will take this experience from Monday night and learn from it.
I just got 2 words. Go Falcons.
Hey. Fuck that Patriots talk. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Fuck them motherfuckers.
Hey, don't make me come through the phone.
You're gonna have to, sis. I mean, you're gonna fight because fuck them motherfuckers.
I'll win.
The Patriots. I hate the Yankees and I hate the Patriots and I hate the Cowboys. Although I will take the time and this is all seriousness. The tragedy that happened with the Dallas Cowboys points to something that Tasha and I have spoken about several fucking times on this show and in person. Drunk driving.
Yep.
There is a kid dead now, a career cut short by his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, left him in a burning car, had to be provoked to get him out, and then pulled him out and left him laying in the middle of the road.
But you know what, Tasha? You and I know this, and when it comes to that, there's a fight or flight syndrome. A lot of people like to flight. Not many people will sit there. We have a gentleman coming on, our guest tonight, Orion Bishop. My big brother. We have a
he
friend.
Would leave you in the car, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
We have a best friend named Brian DeFord. We both have the same best friend. Brian and I were in a wreck. Flipped 3 times, destroyed my Blazer. I fractured both collarbones, fractured 7 ribs, broke my left arm, dislocated my left arm, dislocated my left kneecap, broke my left foot, and fractured my right arm. This motherfucker pulled me out of the burning SUV, and his first words to me, "Don't worry, man, we're going to look back on this and laugh." Swear to God. Swear to God. This man right here, I mean, my best friend, he wouldn't have left me behind. And I know they want to talk about what's happening. We're not going to get into the politics of that because we're not into the politics of the NFL. We're into the politics of professional wrestling.
That's right.
A tragedy happened. A kid lost his life, and we send our thoughts and prayers out to those affected by this tragedy. Same with the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a tragedy, and kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to say this. Kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs. Half of their team showed up for the funeral of the young lady slain by their teammate. They did that on their own accord and then got on a bus and immediately went to a game. So kudos to those guys. Do not drink and drive. Please. I know we all feel like we're all bulletproof. We are not. You never know when your time's going to be called. But
And while we're doing this PSA,
Yes, ma'am.
fuck you, Bob Costas. Guns don't kill people. Stupid people kill people.
No, bullets kill people.
hold on. Bob Costas was actually reading that from what's that guy's name? God, he writes for the Kansas City Star. He's a big black guy. He's actually hosted PTI. I can't think of his name.
Mhm.
He was actually reading almost verbatim from his column and
Yes.
agreeing with. Those were not Bob Costas' words, but you have to give you have to give Bob Costas balls for going on TV and taking the time, even though he really didn't really say anything. He just kind of threw it out there as hey, this is what's presented. Jason Whitlock was his name. I remembered Jason Whitlock. Yep. I hate Jason Whitlock. I can't stand that motherfucker. But he wrote a great column, and you are right. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. That is true.
Bullets kill people.
But right now, 50 states, all 50 states, and probably even Puerto Rico, you can actually have a concealed handgun.
Yep.
So for all of you out there in those 50 states, duck and cover. But I digress.
I have my license, just so everybody knows.
I have my license.
Damon Christopher and Chris Knox, Tasha, you and I talked about this. Eddie, and you and I talked about this. I don't have to have any guns. Chris Knox has a sawed-off shotgun, an AK-47, a 9mm, a 38, a snub nose. I mean, he has all this in his truck. And Joey Sartain, I love the kid to death, part of the Wounded Warriors Project, which we will talk about in an event GCW is putting together this Sunday for the Wounded Warriors Project in Trussville, Alabama. We will have Mad Dog Dan Sawyer of GCW on to talk about this at probably about 10:10 tonight. We're actually going to have Smark Rage call in a little early for his episode of the Smark's Rage. But Joey Sartain, the man was wounded in I believe it was Iraq. Got a Purple Heart. Hell of a guy, but suffers from post-traumatic stress syndrome. He has double the guns that Chris Knox has.
Yep.
And that is the God's honest truth. You cannot, man. When we come up there, Tasha, yeah, they were
True
guns.
story. Wait a minute. True story. If you were in the presence of anybody in Simply Perfection, you were around all kinds of armaments. And I would actually tell you that Eric Andrews is probably more heavily armed than any of the rest of us.
Of course. Have you seen those guns?
Do me a favor.
You liked that. That was funny. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, fans of the National Wrestling Alliance, it's that time of the week. It's time to menstruate. It is Tasha knows best. Tasha, what do you know best this week, sis?
Well, I'm going to get into a couple of things tonight. First of all, I'm going to say this, and I'm talking about credible trainers right now. I am not talking about just the McDonald's trainers that you find on every corner. Professional wrestling has evolved, and everything evolves. There's always evolution to anything that we do or say. From the way we get dressed and the clothing we wear to the way we speak. Professional wrestling is no different. However, there are some credible trainers who are starting to focus more on facials and body movement than they are the actual mechanics of professional wrestling. And I want to really, really stress this to young people who are wanting to get into professional wrestling, or people that have been in the business for 4 or 5 years and they're wanting to improve their game. The facials are great, but if you don't have the mechanics, if you don't have the technique, if you cannot wrestle your way out of a brown paper sack with the instructions written in every language known to man, including Ebonics on the inside, the facials mean nothing. And I would implore some of these trainers, by the way, and I really won't call any names, which I'm sure is going to shock everybody, but I would implore these people who are actually very credible, who have turned out some very, very solid wrestlers, to remember, body's one thing, the face is another. We have to tell things with our facial expressions. But if you don't have something mechanically and technically sound to put that facial expression on someone's face, the expression means nothing. It's like trying to bake an invisible cake with an empty mixing bowl. That's all it is. Now, a little more important, these same trainers are so hyped up right now because for some reason we're still in the WWE era of comic book wrestling and character development. If you are going to be perceived as some persona, please be original with it. Don't watch great kabuki matches and then put on some kabuki paint and spin around in a circle like an airplane and carry nunchucks to the ring. It doesn't make you a great wrestler. It makes you a rip-off of the great kabuki. If you're going to call yourself a martial artist, please make sure that you are a martial artist. If you're going to call yourself the king, remember, oh my God, this is going to kill me to say it, but there truly is only one Jerry Lawler. Thank God. I'm sure that there are millions of children happy about that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Won't be the first
Don't
time.
Don't put the crowns on your pants unless you're Derek King, who is known as Mr. Personality, who actually makes a gimmick out of emulating other wrestlers. That is actually his gimmick. But be original. You know, if you're somebody who's doing an interview, don't steal somebody else's line and try to make it your own, because guess what?
Preach.
There are at least 3 people who know. There's always at least 3 people that know. That's not really your line. Originality is everything, and it's something that's so lost. And it's not just in professional wrestling. How many of us sit and look at the movies that are being remade and say, what's happened to Hollywood? Are they so stupid that they can't come up with anything original? So they have to copy something that was already done. That's what I see when I go to so many of these independent wrestling cards. I don't see guys that are trying to be something special. I see guys that are trying to be something that's already been done. And it doesn't mean a thing, especially when you're not just ripping off somebody, but you're doing a poor version of ripping them off. And guys, if you're going to use ring music, please don't use WWE music. I get so sick of going to wrestling cards and hearing a WWE soundtrack. And promoters, let your balls drop, okay? Seriously, tell them no. Look, it's real easy. 2 little letters. N-O. No. Because you're still not the WWE. You still don't have the Titantron. All it does is make your promotion and your wrestlers look like a joke. I've said it every single week, and I will keep saying it until somebody listens to me. It's time to put professional wrestling back in the professional wrestling ring. We have to do it from the fans, to the promoters, to the wrestlers, to the managers, to the referees when they walk in the ring. Be original. Don't rip off of somebody else, and remember, it's okay to have a piece of you in that ring all the time. I get asked all the time what my gimmick is. I say very simply, my gimmick is that I wrestle. How many women can say that these days? Being a bitch isn't my gimmick. I'm a bitch every day of the week, and I don't need an excuse for it. I'm just fortunate enough that I get paid to do it. That is my preaching for the night. Would anybody like to add anything?
You know I'm going to. First of all, I want to say something really quick about the music. You both know this. What type of music do I come out to? Instrumental.
Come out to music.
I come out to instrumental. When I use music, I come out to instrumental for TV purposes. You both know this. You both work TV. How fast is it that you see something go up on TV and you hear some generic music in the background? You're like, that's not what that guy comes out to. Why? Because they have used something that you don't want to get sued over. That's what I'm going to say for anybody out there that uses music. Unless you're a legend and you're already established, Tasha comes out to American Woman, which will get your ass flagged in a heartbeat on YouTube if you upload it. Believe me. You're set on that music. People hear that, they instantly know you. That's one thing.
That is true.
I come out instrumental. Damon Christopher and Chris Knox come out to an instrumental version of a song called The Endless Knot. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora comes out to a complete remix of a song. And our guest tonight, coming up in just a few minutes, Orion Bishop, comes out to an instrumental version of a song. This is just something, I mean, it's little things like that. And Tasha, you're going to love the last 30 minutes of tonight because we're doing something we haven't done in a long time. We're bringing in Wrestlers Court, and it's going directly to what you were just talking about going and completely stripping, not just a parody. We're not talking about somebody like Eugene went out there and Eugene would do the rock bottom and do the Stone Cold Stunner because he was playing a mentally disabled character, supposed to be like a wrestling savant. But...
And by the way, he stole that gimmick from one of my students in Memphis.
But you know what I'm saying, though. You know, that's one thing. One thing is to do if you're, but to go completely, like, to rip a name off, to completely steal somebody's persona, that's another thing. And we're going to talk about that later on tonight. But Tasha, once again, just thank you for bringing that fire and that intensity. It's always good to hear you, just let loose, because we always learn something every week. Eddie, do you have something you'd like to add to this?
Two things mainly right off the top of my head. Number one, please remember, pro wrestling will evolve as long as those of us with an IQ above dried wallpaper paste continue to learn as we go in this business and pass those lessons along to those who come after us. Number two, imitation may be the most sincere form of flattery unless your name is Vanilla Ice or anybody in the professional wrestling business. Guess what?
No,
go ahead.
His goes dun 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 dun.
I know.
Theirs goes dun 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 dun.
It's called sampling.
So stupid. Yeah.
It's still
Under pressure. I'm sorry, wrong
exactly.
song.
Yes, sir, Eddie, go ahead.
You
Sorry.
realize we live here now. Go back to Studio 60, Episode 1, you'll see what I mean. But the thing about it is, imitation is also the most sincere form of flattery unless you're in the professional wrestling business. Please remember something. Granted, 86.941% of everything has been done before. However, you can do something similar to what someone else has done as long as two things are not in play. One, they work in the same company you do. Two, they're on a national television broadcast. Then guess what? You're going to be known as a rip-off artist or a cheap knockoff or one who doesn't have enough of a freaking clue to develop your own crap. I'm an announcer. Guess what? My nickname is the Magic City Motor Mouth for a very simple reason. Number one, I am from the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. Number two, I can probably speak faster than 96% of the people that you know. And about 15 years ago, it was 99.318% of the people you know. Two people outdid me, and that's documented. One, I can't remember his name in the number 2 spot. The number 1 spot was John Machida. He still smokes my doors. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real things.
Whoa. Eddie, this is what the hell are you talking about? You talking about blowjobs and shit?
No, I said
Damn.
smoke my doors, dude. As
Oh,
in,
my doors. I thought it says smoking on my doors. I was like, whoa.
I said smoked my doors, as in blows me off the track.
Well, while we're saying that too, I want everybody to understand, I'm not saying you can't do something in the ring because somebody else does it. Use some common sense. That's
Unless
like
it's in the match
saying
before
don't
you.
lock up because they locked up in the match before you. Or don't use a headlock because they used a headlock in the match before you. However, there are certain things. If somebody's on a card with me and they do a pile driver, I'm kicking the shit out of them.
That's the other aspect. That's what I was going to come back with, because number one, find out if you're new in a locker room, find out what everybody else's finishers are and try to shy away from it. If somebody uses a cross arm breaker, don't do it. come up with something different, a different submission. Go back to the old spinning toe hold. Nobody's done that in a long time.
And not just that, I get so sick of these guys who, first of all, they're ripping off somebody else. It's already been done.
Oh, like half the world did Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And then they use something, and I'll use the pile driver as an example because I see this all the time. You see a poorly given pile driver, and the guy gets up and wrestles another 15 minutes.
Kill.
Or you see these girls matches, these customs matches, that you've also heard me bitch about, where girls are taking 15 and 20 pile drivers. Come take one of mine and tell me if you want to get up and take 14 more.
I'll take one of yours if
I
I'm ready to
dare
take
you.
I
dare you.
I'll take a pile driver from you as long as I'm ready to take a nap for a few minutes afterwards.
Days. I mean, a few days. But, oh, sorry, I had to clear my throat. With all that being said, we understand there's nothing new under the sun. There's one thing to complete rip somebody off, another is to take somebody and take something and make it your own. Like laying the smack down. Dr. Dre said that for years, Too Short said that for years, but yet who popularized it? The Rock.
Dr. Dre.
It's scary that we're all old enough to know who Dr. Dre is.
Hey, which Dr. Dre? Because there was Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, and then there was Dr. Dre. That's how old I am. I love hip hop. Big shout out to Public Enemy for getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and for Heart.
Was that not awesome? Not awesome?
I loved it.
I was excited for that. I was also excited for Heart getting in, and Rush. Rush, a long time overdue. Donna Summer,
I popped for Heart.
posthumously. Oh God, yes.
I totally popped for Heart because I love the Wilson sisters.
That's because you used to be a roadie for Heart. Eddie, do we still have that picture where she was a roadie for Heart back in the day?
Let me put that up on Ustream real quick.
I wish you would, because that would be funny.
I'm 4 hours away.
Yeah.
But
I'm
really
coming through
quick.
the phone.
But really quick, we do appreciate everybody that's taking the time to listen, taking their Wednesday away from whatever you're doing to listen to us ramble and bitch and moan and complain. But the whole part about this, and as we guarantee each week, you will learn something on the To Be Determined show every week. I promise you that. Coming up in just a matter of, about 6-7 minutes, we'll be joined by the wrestling hybrid, Orion Bishop. A lot of answers that he needs to dish out. There are a ton of questions for Orion Bishop. Orion Bishop, as we all know, they did a documentary on Bo Jackson. Eddie, have you seen this documentary on Bo Jackson?
No, I have not had a chance to, but I've heard a lot of good things about it and a couple of eh.
It is one of the greatest documentaries you will ever see. Bo Jackson is one of the most humble people. I met Herschel Walker in '86. He came to my elementary school, and Herschel Walker was a cyborg. When I thought about a human robot, I think about Herschel Walker. And Eddie, we've talked about him doing stuff with MMA on Beyond Ringside. He's a monster. Yes. Bo Jackson is the greatest athlete ever since Jim Thorpe. A lot of people, Jim Thorpe. Kids, do some research. Jim Thorpe. Bo Jackson, everything he did, he only did like a 4 or 5 year period. I think he came out of Auburn, in '85, I believe.
Approximate.
And then he joined the Royals in '86 or '87.
Kansas City.
In Kansas City Royals, I'm sorry. And then he went to the Oakland Raiders, as he said, his hobby, which I like that because I remember that as a kid. And we've all seen the video of Bo Jackson running up the wall.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, unfortunately, I cheered when Bo Jackson was injured by Kevin Walker, when Kevin Walker hurt him, because I hated Bo Jackson because he was from Auburn. Roll Tide. And there was, but I was stupid. That's before I started smoking weed and becoming enlightened, okay? I was like, you know what? There's something outside of your small world. What? Anyways.
By the way, kids, we are not advocating smoking weed.
Yes, we are.
No. I used to smoke weed. I still do, but I used to too. Thank you. But and everybody, that joke is not mine, but you.
And wait a minute.
But Orion,
Wick,
Sir?
for those who were offended by the last exchange of commentary, please address all complaint letters to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., because they give as much of a damn as we do.
1313 Mockingbird Lane,
Amen.
Hollywood, California.
Woohoo!
Now, Orion Bishop has been compared to Bo Jackson. Eddie, with such a short period of time that Bishop was in wrestling, I've heard this from Bull Buchanan. Said that Swinger made that analogy or that comparison, and I would totally agree. I mean, even if he wasn't my flesh and blood, I mean, the guy is one of the greatest athletes you will ever see. And I'm not kidding. People think I'm blowing smoke up their ass. I'm not kidding. Bishop is one of those guys that's talked about in lore. Eddie, you know this for a fact. How many fucking times have we sat around in the locker room and people have come up to, how's your brother? How's Bishop? I'm like, why don't you ask him? So tonight, he's going to tell everything. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of him hiding behind being retired. It's time to bring it out. We're going to ask some hard questions. And for those of you that might be frightened, because this may get out of hand. I mean, you never know. Bishop may show up at my house and me and him may start fucking fighting on the radio, because this happened.
Give me $5 on Bishop.
Oh shit! I give $5 on Bishop. There's not many people who whip my ass, but that motherfucker whipped my ass.
I got your back, man. I got your back.
I love my
I got
brother.
a knife.
Exactly.
You better have a gun.
Get a sword. Get a sword. Get a fucking samurai sword. Does anybody have a lightsaber?
I got a freaking suit of armor, and I'd have to wear 2 of those around Bish.
Everybody that watches Ring of Honor knows this. Anybody that's associated with Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor guys, when you first get into the company, we first do something for the company, whether it be a dark match or whatever. The fans there, if they like you, they will let you know. You will generally get the "Please come back" chant.
Yes.
Bishop received this twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice he received this, but yet he walked away from the business after doing so much stuff with WWE, where literally John Laurinaitis told him, "We can't work you in a dark match," and he may kill me for saying this. "We might work match because you're too big. There's nobody we can put you under to." Bishop is a beast, but he has a lot of unanswered questions, and coming up very, very soon, he will answer those questions. You know why? Because we're going to ask them, and he's going to like it. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our first break of the evening. I don't give a shit. We're going to take our first break of the evening right here on the To Be Determined show. Do not change that URL. When we come back, the wrestling hybrid, Orion Bishop.
Hi, I'm Joe Perry.
And Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Yeah, you know we love it when the music does the talking.
And you know, the music stops when someone gets killed.
So never let someone you know get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. So keep it real. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council. Nurse, set up an IV. And you, her boyfriend, you were the driver?
Yes, doctor, but I didn't mean to hurt her. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Just buzzed? Oh, then your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great.
She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy winning the U.S. Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Alice Cooper for RADD. There's a lot of things we have no control of in this world, but that's not the case with drunk driving. If you're going to drink, don't drive. Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives on, and so should you.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must start feeding the pig. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget. Even consider cutting up a credit card. Log on to feedthepig.org today. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
As a mother, I'm making it a point to get the H1N1 flu vaccine for my children. You see, children are especially vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu, which could lead to hospitalization and even death. That's why I'm urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts at flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wrestling Wednesday right here on TNT-radio.net. This is the To Be Determined show. I'm your host, the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and joining me, of course, is my co-host, former NWA Women's World Champion Tasha Simone. Tasha, great. Tasha knows best tonight. Are you okay?
I'm doing good, and the Patriots are still the best. And
oh my
you don't
God,
like
with
it,
this.
You can suck my nuts.
Oh my God, with this, man. Lord have mercy. And of course, you hear him laughing hysterically like a hyena. That is the Magic City Motor Mouth. Fast Eddie. Tonight, he is. Yeah, I guess I'll give him the intro. From the womb to the tomb, more human than human. He is futuristic. He is the wrestling hybrid, Orion Bishop. Bishop, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. I was the wrestling hybrid, Orion Bishop. I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Well, yeah, we're going to get into that in just a bit. We're doing actually pretty good. Let's just start from the very beginning. For those that don't know Orion Bishop, what first got you into the business? Where did the love for wrestling begin?
I guess love for the business began when I was a child. I loved it. Growing up, watching it, just the characters, the stories. And then as I got older, I never really thought I'd be in the business, but I don't know. I guess when I was playing football, I wanted to do it to get in shape, and I just kind of fell in love with it, and kind of went from there.
Now, you actually wrestled in high school, played football in high school, played baseball in high school, and ran track. How did football become your first, I guess, love out of that? Because you were a professional football player for many years.
I've always loved football. I was, I don't know what I think I was better at baseball than I was football, but it was fun to me. Maybe I know it's kind of cliche, but the full contact sport, it felt like it came natural. I don't know how to explain it's a totally different type of love than for wrestling, but it was just one of those things that, I don't know, it's just in my blood, I guess.
Now, how did you make the transition from football to wrestling? And not only that, did that transition, playing football before, did that help you any in wrestling?
It did. I think I was just, kind of blessed athletically. You know me from where I've been. I mean, it doesn't, once I put my mind to it, it doesn't take me long to get in shape. I was just between football and wrestling, and when I was actually training while I was in my last season of football, and I was actually, I'd actually drive to Anniston on a Friday to work a match, and then drive back to Huntsville or the town I was playing football in the next day and play 4 quarters. A lot of people didn't know that because I'd got in trouble with my coaches then, but it was probably it's probably one of the best times because it was fun to be able to do both and still not sucking wind. It was great, but I got of course we were getting paid to play football, and you could tell the people around you weren't having fun. They were there just to make money, and it's just one of those things you just kind of you realize it's time to walk away. And then I chose the path. I chose wrestling.
Now, with that being said, how did you actually get into wrestling? Because you were a bouncer for many, many years, and on top of that, I mean, you could have stayed bouncer and made a ton of money, but you chose to do professional football and also to wrestle. How did you actually get into the business between all of this?
I guess just sacrifice. With sacrifice, of course, money and time. But once I won't say put my wrestling tights on. I'll put my football tights on in the wrestling ring. But once I did that, I don't know. I guess my imagination started running wild, and I guess the child in me, and the athlete in me came together, and I thought I could bring something to the business, and that's why, of course, I chose wrestling. I started training, and between you and I, our ideas started going crazy with names and what we can do in the future, and it was just it was fun in and outside the ring. So, the time wasn't that bad because when I was doing security, I was working on the weekends. I was making stuff, good money then. And then we'd find time to train, and then I guess kind of grew from there.
Now, with that being said, also, tell us about your first experience in the ring. What was that like?
My first experience or my first match? My first experience
what have you
kind of
done?
funny.
Both. Sorry.
Well, my first experience in the ring, they told me to basically do a promo. Now, this is a guy, myself, that I was trained. I guess trained, 2-3 months, something. They told me, they could tell me, they said, no matter what you do, you're going to mess up. So when you mess up, just learn to play it off. So I get in the ring, and I forget the critter. I think it's Billy Critter. I was in a promo, and I come out in jeans and like a sleek shirt and big shades, right? I'm telling you this only because my wrestling gear was all black football tights and a hockey mask. So anyway, I hear you over there laughing, but
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I was gonna do the promo, and he does something where he shoots me into the ropes. I'm supposed to duck something to hit him, so I forget what it was. But I was so nervous that when I hit the rope, my butt was above the middle rope, and I fell right through the ropes outside the ring and hit my head. And so as soon as I hit my head, I was thinking, I got to play this off. So I jumped up and was telling the crowd that Billy was so strong he threw me through the ring.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. the announcer that was with us at the time looks at me and he's like, "That's your brother." Oh,
yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
anyway, I get in and I thought he was gonna do something different, but anyway, we go into the exact same spot and get the spot over with. And of course, it was kind of embarrassing. The small part of me thought, if I could really play that off, maybe I can, kind of learn this thing. But I guess it went from there into the my first match, which was against him, and I ended up getting into it with all the critters at the time. And I guess they're trying to show off my strength, but it was a very small show. It was coming to an end as well, but it was fun. I think we worked just a couple of matches there, and then before we moved on. But my first match was actually it was good. It helped build confidence. I was working against Billy, and he did a very good job of carrying me through the match. And at the end, it was him and the other critters chipping in, but it was good.
What was it like wiping out an entire quote-unquote wrestling family? They had pretty much dominated that era for some time in that area at one point.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't much of a story because of course then we didn't know what stores were, but it was they couldn't be. It was odd because you run through an entire family in the next match. You're working one-on-one with a guy that probably couldn't pure waste, and trying to put on a decent show. And you thinking swapping spots is a good match because you're green and have no idea.
Now, who actually trained you when you got into the business?
Well, Damon Harrison, Damon Taz, I think he's goes to Damon and Christopher now, originally trained. We went from that. I actually had a couple different trainers. Had him train me the most. I've had tons of people work with me. Had Ron Alexander come in. He was showing me different types of feeds, spots. Johnny Slaughter had his hand in it as well. When I was actually moved on up, I had a lot of great guys like David Young, Will Buchanan. A lot of those guys put me aside. Crew Jones helped me out a ton. But obviously David Taz, Johnny Slaughter, and Brian Alexander had a big piece of that pie. Training starting off, and then my guys put me to the side all the way up.
We ask this question quite often because it happens quite often. Has there ever been a fan take a swing at you, stab you, or try to stab you, or try to get in the ring against you?
Yeah, just like a reporter. Yeah, we had that happen one time that you and I both did. We were working a tournament against David Young, and I was actually thinking about that tournament earlier today. I guess we'll come back to that in a little bit, but in the tournament, we're going to the ring, and I guess there was a fan who was semi-intoxicated. He was threatening to jump the rail, and he jumped the rail, and you took care of him.
No, we. You get blood on your hands too, literally. But is that the only incident? I mean, I know that's the one that people remember most, but has anything else ever happened?
Well, we had threats. I can't remember anything else unless you're thinking of something I can't. It's not coming to mind right now.
I am not in this. My name's Paul, and this is between y'all. You have for some time. I mean, you went through Ring of Honor. You were very prominent in the National Wrestling Alliance. You also have done a few things with the WWE. Tell us what it was like starting off from little Anniston Championship Wrestling to doing all of this in such a short period of time, because I don't know if you heard the show, you have been compared so many times, especially recently, to Bo Jackson, and you just all of a sudden just shot off like a comet, or like what was that like? What was that experience like?
Well, it wasn't okay. The way you say it and the way it really, I mean, it didn't, to me, it didn't seem that long, because it was like 3 or 4 years for it happened, and when and week to week I was going to an outlaw show or or an indie show, and I was driving all these places, so it didn't feel like I just shut off and actually took off because we had to work. We actually, I'm talking about you, and I'm telling, excuse me, when I'm talking to people out there, and when I say we, I mean you and I, had to go to different little shows and try out just to get on the shows. There was no, oh, I heard of your name. So we actually had to try out, which is, I look back now and I'm thinking, man, it's kind of a hokey type thing, but we get on any show that we could to get our name out there. But it didn't come easy because I never sucked up. I never stabbed someone in the back trying to get a spot. I always did what I was told. And a lot of times it was going under to people that I don't think, that it just didn't make sense. And I always wanted, in each show to have some sort of storylines that made sense, keeps the crowd coming back, helps the crowd grow, because, as in football, all the boys in the locker room, we're a team trying to build the show. There's no individual that's going to run the show or carry the show, because, it doesn't matter how good the candy it is, how good candy is, it always gets old. And people still, I don't think, realize that. But anyway, once the hard work and the traveling started paying off, we started doing a lot of shows, and Bill Barron actually helped me out a ton, when it comes to work and getting my name out there. And I owe a lot of that to him. He has introduced me to a lot of guys, and it was funny too, because when I first met Bill, I did the same thing. I had to try out for him as well. I worked hard, and I think he saw that, and he had helped me out. And then you get the reputation of going to shows. People that like you because they call you like a Barron's boy or something. It was hilarious. There's so many people in wrestling that would hate you if you did well, even if you worked hard. And I never understood that. But when you get up there, I've never been starstruck. I don't, between security and working different shows, so I'm not the type of person that's going to run a match for an autograph. I don't care. I think everybody's equal, we all believe the same. Some people, it's just wasn't it for them. Some people, it's not. But I enjoyed the experiences when I was there.
Really quick before I toss it to Fast Eddie Lane and to Tasha, one question that's always asked, and I have to ask you this: are you on steroids? Because a lot of people, for a long time, as strong as you were, and you know this, as strong as you were, people have seen you do things. In this day and age, people are very skeptical of somebody that can bench press Rob Adonis and pretty much throw him out of the ring. Are you on steroids? Have you ever taken steroids? Have you ever taken HGH? Have you ever taken supplements?
No, I take vitamins, supplements. Is that what you're talking about, like from GNC?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've taken vitamins. Even a better one for all those people asking the question. I rarely even worked out my entire life, even when I played football. I just ate right and ran. I guess I've always been naturally strong. I have no idea where I get it from.
Eddie, would you like to ask Bishop something?
Actually, you talk about the strength of Orion Bishop, and there are people, and dude, this is straight up between us. You know me by now. Sure. There are some people in this world that I am genuinely afraid to be hit by on accident, much less on purpose. If you've never watched Orion Bishop in the ring, you've heard the term freakishly strong. I normally use the term holy hell freakishly strong. But you've always had, at the time that I've worked with you, you've always had a great sense of timing, a great sense of ring awareness. You know what you're doing and how you're doing it almost every second that you're in the ring. Is the timing something that has just come naturally to you because of your involvement in so many other different sports? Or is it really something that you developed more so in professional wrestling?
I just think it's just one of those things that, of course, wrestling is going to polish that because you get really impatient when you first start out. I'm an impatient person. I mean, that seemed like in the ring, I had to learn to sail longer, to take a little time in between spots, because sometimes even when I speak, I start speaking really, really fast. And I have to slow down, which causes me to start stuttering because I want to speak really fast. But I think it's one of the things that wrestling overall taught me to slow down, to manage your time better, and that, of course, less is more is a whole different thing. But that I would have to, the whole timing thing, that's wrestling. And of course, that's your roads. If you think you're going too slow down.
Wick?
Tasha, any questions you would like to ask Ryan Bishop?
Yes. And this is something that inquiring minds want to know, because I've heard so much about this. Is it true that when you lay your head on your pillow at night, your biggest fear is that Wicked Nemesis is going to whip your ass?
Yeah, that is the biggest fear. That's why I'm definitely afraid to win the world.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. My serious question is, why did you quit the business?
When I quit the business?
Yep.
I lost the love for it. I just didn't have love for the business anymore, and I knew it was time to walk away. Like I was talking about earlier, when we were talking, when you asked me a question about the guy hitting the ring, or we were talking about the guy hitting us, so whenever jumped the rail, and I was talking about the tournament. Remember the tournament?
Yep.
We walked.
Yes, sir, I do.
I went to the store. We walked in there, and there was a tournament listed on the board, and had everybody listed out there. And this is one of the things that just drove me nuts. And there were so many veterans in that locker room that I respect, and I still respect. I like.
Really quick, this was at Great Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, and I worked out constantly. At that time, running, trying to get in shape, trying to get my endurance down, because I wanted to, do the best I could, of course, even for the crowd there. And psychology-wise, and we talked about ring awareness earlier, I constantly study film and watch it and learn different things, and pick different minds. And we go into the tournament, and I was begging to go to the tournament, not because, just because I wanted to compete. I wanted to work as many matches as I could, learn as much as I could, because I figured if I get to the tournament, a couple of matches, I could learn something from each veteran, because I was prepared. And they said, no, you're going out first round. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll do what I'm told. But I sit down and I listen to every veteran in that locker room complain of line because they had to work more than one match. And I was thinking to myself, why are you here? Why are you in the business? Of course, it's not really about the money, because a lot of these shows you don't get paid enough to, strike rich. But if you, and I started seeing the ugly side then of the business. Fast forward, and when you go and to Ring of Honor, I love this. I love the atmosphere. That's pure wrestling. That's one place, that that could have probably, that helped me stay in the business longer than I probably would have. It's just amazing. All the guys in the locker room, the shows, the stories, the work ethic is amazing. It's kind of like watching, college football. You still have the love before the money kicks in. They do use the same, I only had I was only there a couple of times, just an extra, but it was just like the business people walking around, doing what they're supposed to do and leaving. And there were shows, Great Championship Wrestling, Global Championship Wrestling. They just helped kill my love for the business. But it wasn't just one. I guess it was just a combination of all.
Eddie,
I'm going to say this, and this isn't Fast Eddie Lane to Ryan Bishop. This is me to you, 1-to-1. I know what you're saying. I know part of what happened, and I'm not going to talk about this in this forum, but I'm going to say this. there are a ton of people who miss you in this industry. And there is that same ton of people, that's actually a 2-syllable word that I'm going to use, but I'm not going to use the first syllable, that wish you could find your way back into this business. A talent like you, a persona like yours, gimmick and everything else aside, you have a God-given gift, and I say God-given from the bottom of my heart. And if there is any way that somebody can help you, or you can find a way to rekindle that passion for this business, you will make a ton of people happy by getting back inside that ring one of these days. I miss you, and there's a lot of people that genuinely do, and that's me.
Okay. With all the Sabi stuff aside, I got to ask you something. Who was your biggest influence before wrestling? Before you got into wrestling, who was your biggest influence?
My dad.
What is the greatest wrestling game of all time? I gotta ask you that. We don't have much left. We don't have much time left.
No Mercy.
Why did you always use the fucking Regal stretch over and over again? Tell me that. Why? Why would you get wrestling? You would get NW. You would use the Regal stretch relentlessly on us. Why? Why are you so cheap? Why did you cheat every single day for 3 years? It wasn't fun. He would grab the Regal stretch, and what was it, NWO versus WCW World Tour?
No, I think No Mercy or Wrestling 2000, one of those games, it was fun. I don't know.
No, when you would Regal stretches, when you would use Lord Steven Regal. I can't stand your ass. I hope you get back in the business. I hope you get back in the business just so I could kill Orion Bishop just like I killed Damon Taz. I want to put a gun out. I want to put him down. I really do. I wanted you on tonight. I love you to death. You know that. I love you. I love my nephew. I love my sister-in-law. But I hate the wrestling hybrid because I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it. And we do appreciate you coming on. But really quick, we have asked the question of everybody. I know it's right at the last minute. We're about to go to our commercial break. If you could have one match since December 21st, 2012 is supposed to be the end of the world, what is the one match of any time that you would have? Any combo?
I don't know. I guess the only thing I could really think of, and some of the matches I wanted to have before I just never really had was, and it's kind of odd and small, but probably Lion Bishop against the Inhuman Fly. That's one match I always wanted.
Wow, I see there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Wrestling Hybrid. Orion Bishop. Bishop, thank you so much for coming on. Anytime you want to come on, the door is always open, and people do miss you, and congratulations on everything. Congratulations on going out and
anytime you want to come on,
Corey, shut your radio off.
He did.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been the To Be Determined show. We're about to take our top of the hour commercial break. When we come back, the Smarks Rage live on TNT-radio.net. Don't change the URL.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation, and we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone.
Okay, think. Where'd you have them last?
I was home, then I spent them on that vacation in this tiny suit of armor. Now they're gone.
Weird.
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Oh, I broke his little gauntlet.
Oh no.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Check out my new time machine.
Does it work?
Hit the button.
Hey, it's Napoleon.
Oui. Check out the future.
Hey, you have a nice house. Why don't I?
You didn't save any money, buddy.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and fix that.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face to face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
Hey, what's up? Holla at ya, boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the To Be Determined show right here on TNT-radio.net. Thank you so much to the wrestling hybrid Orion Bishop for that interview tonight. We're going to jump head first. We've already had Tasha Knows Best. Now it's time for the independent wrestling community's king, Dingaling himself, Smark Rage. This week's edition of the Smark's Rage. Corey, what are you raging about this week, sir?
First of all, thank you for having me on. I'm about half drunk because of Fast Eddie Lane and his use of this business. Jesus, I'm drunk. Jesus, I'm drunk. I may not be able to get through. So this week,
Eddie doesn't know. Hold on. Eddie doesn't know. Eddie, there is a drinking game that Corey has helped start. Every time you say this business, you take a shot.
Yes.
Okay, Corey, I'm sorry. Go.
So this week, what I'm raging on is independent wrestling. And I'm gonna pick on Georgia independent wrestling because I live here, but I watch Ring of Honor, watch all that other good stuff. You know, wrestling is all about good and evil. You know, good versus evil. Why do some promotions put matches together with no story, with no background? That you've got Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna, and just imagine that match with absolutely no storyline. What are they fighting for? Why do I care that they're wrestling? Why do they do that, Wicked Nemesis? I'm going to go to you because you are the resident go-to guy.
Why do they do that? Because it's hastily thrown together. Those are not federations. Those are not promotions. Those are generally outlaw shows. There are some that follow under that umbrella. But you know this, with independent wrestling, we'll actually ask Mad Dog Dan Sawyer this in just a little bit. with everybody canceling and with so many people not showing up at the last minute with so many things, I've got a flat tire, when really all they're doing is just hanging out with their mistress somewhere. Those stupid idiots are the ones that cause the card to all of a sudden be thrown around, or people that can't make the show on time when everything has to be reshuffled. Go ahead, sir.
I mean, I've been to a ton of shows where that stuff is just thrown together, and there's absolutely no backstory. You want me to pay to see so-and-so versus so-and-so, but for what? Another thing is that really gets my goat is pro wrestlers, indie wrestlers, WWE wrestlers begging for money and promoting their Amazon wish list. And
my God, you're damn Skippy.
Tasha, that's a trigger word for Tasha. Go ahead, Smart.
No, I did it. He's talking about me. I did it.
You know what? And I'm not picking on you, Tasha, because I love you. You're the former NWA Women's Champion. God knows if you ever get that title back. I understand you guys don't make much money, but a WWE wrestler last night, a diva, was plugging a friend's website for donations for money. Okay? A lot of your followers and fans are kids. Stop begging for money and let me know how much money you donated before you ask for my money.
Well, let me tell you, I actually agree with what you're saying, and I'm going to make a big difference between myself, and I'm just going to call this out. I have an acquaintance I used to consider a very good friend. She's wrestled under a couple of different names. She went on Glory before it became just a horrible spam site, and would say, I make a living as a professional wrestler. It's time for the bills to be paid. Please buy my baby diapers off of my Amazon wish list. Please buy her clothes. Please make donations to my PayPal account because my rent has to be paid. My old man just had knee surgery, and again, I stress that she is saying she makes a living as a professional wrestler. Well, obviously not, or you would not be trolling for money on these websites. What I do, and I'm going to say my very good friend Amber O'Neill, who does Three-Way with Fire and Ice, we're not really saying pay our bills. I'm saying if you're my fan and you want to buy me something, and I put this, and anybody can look on my Twitter feed, you are not getting something for nothing. I have a wish list up for my fans who would like to buy me something. I do not post it all the time, but I have 3 sets of worn tights that I wore to defend the women's world title on different occasions. If they buy me something off of my wish list, there are 3 sets of tights that are up for grabs. They will be getting a set of those tights. I have also done this with T-shirts. I have a fan that I don't even have to ask. He sends me, and he's a very good friend as well, he sends me Boston Patriots gear, New England Patriots gear every year because he's from Boston. Suck it, Wicked, they're the greatest, because he knows I'm a huge fan of the team. But as far as me saying send me money, I have a job. I don't need them to send me money. I'm telling them if they want a piece of my gear, they can, rather than just give me money for it, they can purchase something off of my wish list and they will get a piece of my gear that has been worn in the ring to defend the world title.
Corey, you got a minute left.
But I'm not going to go on here. I am not going to go on here and say, please donate money to me because bills are due and I make a living as a professional wrestler.
Corey, you got a minute left.
Another thing is,
Corey.
you're fine. You're fine, champ. I always love hearing your perspective. Another thing is, don't call yourself a professional wrestler if you wrestle once a week and wrestle for one promotion. It's disrespectful to people like Fast Eddie Lane, who's been in the business since God was a child, because I said that because he's old. Wicked Nemesis, who's been doing this for 15 years, and the former NWA Women's Champion, who's defended that title all over the world. It's disrespectful.
Ding ding.
Don't if you're going to carry yourself like a professional wrestler, do it every night. Do it every night. Do it like Wicked Nemesis, who's on the road, up and down the roads, thousands and thousands of miles each week, each month. Same thing with Tasha Simone and all the other countless independent wrestlers. Don't call yourself a wrestler if you wrestle once a night. I'll call you a joke. That's my time. That's my rage. I'm out.
Don't clap for that, because that was just Tasha plugging her shit.
There you go.
What the fuck? Whatever.
I was going to say give him a couple more minutes because I did that.
No, because that's his stupid ass. We have someone on the line right now that we actually want to ask that question about hastily put together promotions and to discuss a very great benefit he has coming up this Sunday in Trussville, Alabama. GCW's own Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Mr. Sawyer, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We also have another caller on the line from 813. Sir, who do we have on the line?
O'Hagan.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
GCW Heavyweight Champion.
Holy crap. We have the GCW Heavyweight Champion, O'Hagan. Joshua O'Hagan, or as I call him, as I call him, Mr. Blur. This is a fantastic event. Yes, clap. Put the clap on.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. If I knew you were here, we would roll out the red carpet. I do apologize. But, Dan, we want to ask you about that. Smart Rage, once again, in his ramblings of fatness and diabetic coma, actually had one little nugget of knowledge in there. If you can dig through his sack of shit and pull out that one corn nugget, hastily put together promotions or cards. You heard my perspective. We're actually going to get Tasha and Mr. Blur's perspective. I'm sorry. O'Hagan's perspective. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I do apologize. I'm so sorry. And Fast 8 Lane's perspective, Mr. Sawyer.
Okay. Well, first off, and you've been to many GCW shows. You've been a part of the roster for a good time now. Instead of having hodgepodge bullshit, book enough guys in case somebody don't show to replace them instead of something that doesn't matter to the people. Everything can't be Ring of Honor because they've thrown that shit out the door now about honor and all that stuff, no punches, yada, yada, yada. You finally realize, hey, you got to have personality to get over in this business. You don't put a face versus a face. You don't just put some guy with some guy that it doesn't matter that it's not going anywhere. Well, you can do that, and it won't be successful for you, but if you try to put together a program that's not a spot show that's just put out in the middle of nowhere like at a high school fundraiser, you can do that. And there's a lot of promoters, not just in Georgia, but in Alabama and all over the United States who do that. Mike Jensen. But, you got to actually, you got to put some thought into your booking. You gotta have some talented guys. The corny days of throwing a guy under a mask and having guys work twice on a show, people are too smart for that. Don't insult them. You're putting on a show for them, but they spent their hard-earned money, and we give the best we have. When it says GCW on the marquee, you're going to get the best.
When it says Global Championship Wrestling on the marquee,
you hate me, you want to talk about me on the Facebooks and whatnot. Thank you for just talking, because anything you say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So go ahead. Thank you for all the haters who've been hating this week and running down the performers. You love me so much that you had to act like you got my name and put it out there and act like you had a message board for me. God bless you. God bless us, everyone. Tiny Tim. But yeah, just be mindful. But that all comes from untrained guys training guys. So, if you don't know psychology to begin with, you've never been taught it, how the hell can you put it on? Mommy and daddy can only flip the bill for so long. You can only learn so much from YouTube. So, God knows you're not going to crack a book and read something.
Ace in the hole. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Did Tasha have the cough? I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, we got an ace in the hole. Sorry.
Oh man, Ace Frehley, God bless him. He's a good guitarist for Kiss.
Great guitarist.
But you know, you gotta think about the audience. They're there. They paid their money, and give them a show. That's what they came to see. Don't give them crap, because when you do a crappy show, you crap on the whole business. You know, if you put a hodgepodge match together, put two girls who can't work in the ring, and they give ladies wrestling a bad name. You know, Pandora, Tracy, Tasha, they can work and they can go. And there's just so many. You know, let's put a girl on there because it'll help draw people. Well, when they can't do nothing, it just ruins it for everyone. So you got to bring your A game. You know, and you know, I give guys a chance. You know, I got received a package for this girl who was trying to get booked the other day. She sent me her stats, who trained her, and how many matches she's had. She didn't send one damn picture or a video. So, you know, what do you do? I mean, bless her heart. You know, I just want to say, there's not a phone number either. There's not a phone number, just an email. So, you know, we're out here trying to make it. You know, but you gotta work hard every day. And when you say you're wrestling for a living, I had to disagree with the fella that was on there earlier. He said, if you only wrestle once a week, well, let me tell you something. That's not very common. I think he was meaning once a month. But you know, there's not enough promotions to keep yourself busy that will pay you to wrestle 3 or 4 nights a week. Hell, TNA doesn't even wrestle 3 or 4 nights a week. So, you know, we're out there busting the hump. But get on to positive things. Now, we're going to round robin this thing. You want to get the opinions of the GCW champ and the commissioner, Eddie Lane, on this, or do you want to go ahead and jump into wrestling for a cause this Sunday?
Well, I mean, I was actually going to ask O'Hagan about that. I mean, O'Hagan has also been a promoter. Hastily put together cards, sir.
With hastily put together cards and promotions, you're not getting the talent that the people deserve. When you have something that's thought out, when you have something that's planned and put together with the right people, you can have top talent on there. When you have a women's match, when you have someone like Tasha or Tracy Taylor or Pandora coming on the show, you're going to have better talent. When you just throw Joe Schmo in there, who's, you know, just started training, you know, you don't have much. So then you have like a champion of a federation. I mean, that's like saying, hey, I'm the best shitty wrestler in a group of shitty wrestlers. And then they go off and they think that they're hot shit. Pardon my French. But the thing is, it's like these people start thinking that they're the greatest, and then they start trying to, you know, big shot other people, and they're not that good. You know, you can go work 2 or 3 shows a week if you want to, but you're going to be carrying people left and right. You're going to be wrestling guys that are dangerous and don't know what they're doing, and you're not going to advance yourself at all. I mean, why bust your butt for danger? I mean, it's one thing to be part of a good show, to put on an amazing match, to be part of something amazing once a week, than to go wrestle somewhere with like rats in the locker room, and I mean like actual rodents running around.
You've been to Tullahoma, right?
I mean, I've seen the locker rooms. I mean, I would rather be part of GCW's locker room, and there's some other good federations out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying GCW because this is a local federation that I'm speaking of. But I mean, when you go somewhere and there's drugs and alcohol and cockroaches running around the locker room, I mean, these are some of the things that I just don't want to be a part of. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stay somewhere that's positive, that has a good atmosphere, that has a great talent roster, that actually has a future. So, you know, will I stay working for GCW? I sure will. You know, that's just my thoughts on it. I mean, if you want the best, you plan for the best, and you prepare for the best, and you bring in the best. So if you just throw something together, you're second rate.
Now, Mr. Sawyer, I think we've kind of beat this dog to death. Mr. Sawyer, you have a great benefit coming up this Sunday. this Sunday, not Saturday, this Sunday, for Global Championship Wrestling. Sir, if you will, tell everyone about this, sir.
Okay, it's GCW Wrestling. It's called Wrestling with a Cause, and the reason we're calling it this, we've got a lot of great men and women that have defended our country and are currently doing so. Well, some of them, I respect every man, woman that has ever set foot anywhere on foreign soil and protected, where we can have the To Be Determined show, where we can have Beyond Ringside, where we can talk about Global Championship Wrestling and all this stuff. Wounded warriors, men and women who get injured in combat. Well, sometimes when they come home, life isn't easy in a lot of different ways, physically, mentally, and all the things, but sometimes their children get forgotten about. The government's going to give them their little pissant little check or whatever. That's not good enough to replace their leg or their arm or, anything else that they may have lost. So the Wounded Warrior program is becoming very popular, but something that is just new and put together is the Children of the Wounded Warriors. And this is a toy drive, but it's not necessary that you bring toys, but we will be donating a portion of the proceeds to do this. When this thing got together, I was approached. It was going to be just a couple of matches, just to pack some people into the North Tavern restaurant on a Sunday afternoon, and we had a big sponsorship and all this stuff. It originally started as Toys for Tots. Well, Toys for Tots is very successful this year, and I was told I was going to have to do it at a certain place in Alabama, and I just didn't agree with that. I'm not going to say their name, but the North Tavern, brand new place. It's Birmingham address, but it's in Trussville, Alabama. Has invited GCW Wrestling to come down, and we're doing 7 matches featuring former WWE superstar, the Straight Edge Society, Luke Gallows, who is currently on the roster of TNA Wrestling as Doc, Director of Chaos. But most people know him as Luke Gallows. He's taking on Micah Taylor. We got the GCW Heavyweight Championship on the line. Aiden Solo from the Underground taking on Mr. O'Hagan. We got a great match. Octavia taking on Tracy Taylor. Burning Jake Cole and the Cousin Redneck. Maybe a little evil in that, I don't know. Amos Moses. Latino sensation Antonio Garza with Connor McAdams. Scotty Blaze, Psycho Circus, Showtime Shane Fox, the Equalizer, and the GCW Tag Team Championship. We're talking about Full Throttle, taking on the team that currently has the belts, the Unlooked Arms.
Referee's decision's final. I'm sorry.
And Damon Christopher, can't forget that man. But it's a 4:30 doors on this Sunday, 4:30 Central, 6 p.m. start time. Tickets are only $10. This event's being brought to you by Classic Hits 106.9, The Eagle out of Birmingham, Alabama. But come on down to the North Tavern, 5712 Triple Road, Birmingham, Alabama. You can check out GCWPro.com, GCWPro.com. It has the address on there. MapQuest it, GPS it. Get there. This is a great evening show. It'll be done by 8:30. You can still take the kids home, put them in bed. But if you guys just got fantastic food, nice social food, burgers, wings, and whatnot, chicken salad, and if you want to have a cold beer or you want to have some whiskey, whatever you want to do, if you're 21 or older, you can drink there and have a good time. I've got a lot of friends that were in the military that are coming. My grandfather was in the Army, and my other grandfather was in the Marines, and they both received Purple Hearts from World War II. So my one grandfather passed away 11 years ago, but I'll never forget, him talking about the war and coming home, and he didn't lose a limb, but he received shrapnel in his head. And I respect the military. There's a really, Micah Taylor is a Marine. Connor McAdams was in the Army. There's several other of the guys that I'm forgetting what branch they were in, so I'm not going to say it wrong because, that's like saying the wrong fraternity. or the wrong wrestling group. You don't want to get heat, don't want someone to hate me for saying the wrong stuff, but, just come out and support this thing. You're getting a show for your money. If you want to bring some toys, we will be accepting the toys, and, and giving them to the right place next week, but we have to get them in by next Wednesday. Oh yeah, the Nature Boy Paul Lee. I almost forgot about him. He's taking on Amos Moses, and Steve Styles is taking on Burning J. Cole. Thank you, sir, for correcting me there. I got a little text from front office reminding me. Paul Lee and Amos Moses, Burning J. Cole, and Steve Styles, a new sensation. Honey Boo Boo's favorite wrestler, by the way. But, it's going to be a great evening. You're going to get to see all the GCW talent. And, we'll be kicking it back in 2013, January 5th. But let's concentrate on this. Christmas is special to a lot of people. I know you guys have kids and stuff, and I don't have children currently, but I want to one day, and I know what my niece and nephew mean to me, but I know what it was like, the special moments of waking up on Christmas and seeing what Santa Claus had brought and what I received from Granny and Granddad. Well, these children that we're doing this benefit for may wake up and they may not even have a Christmas tree. They may not have nothing, but they could receive something if you brought a Nerf football or you brought Barbies. Bring stuff for boys and girls. These kids are in need, man. I mean, we're so blessed, we don't even realize it. We think we got it tough sometimes, but imagine waking up on Christmas and not having one thing to open on Christmas morning. And, this is something that's dear to my heart, not just the Wounded Warrior program, but these kids, man. I mean, you really sit back and think about it, you'll realize how fortunate we are. And I'm not saying it's always been easy for anybody's parents or anything. I'm not making light of that. But these guys need our help. Let's show some appreciation for what they've done for us, fighting for us, and putting their life and their body on the line for us. So, I rarely go that serious, but it's something when something means something to me, which professional wrestling does. That I love it, and I don't hodgepodge and throw matches together. Day of, I always have somebody extra, and people want to be a part of it. And I'm very fortunate in that sense that I am respected. I don't give a rat's ass if you like me or not, but you will respect me. And if you listen to what I say, I will help you make money. And it's a group effort. It is a group effort, but you reward good behavior and hard work in the ring. And there's a lot of talent on the show. Unlucky Charms, I'm not just saying that because of I'm speaking to Wicked Nemesis. I see something in those guys, and if you want to come see them live, come on out. It's the Road Warriors without goofy haircuts and face paint, and that was one of the toughest tag teams of all time. I mean, they're like if you took the Road Warriors and mixed them with the Brainbusters, Arn and Tully, when they were the Horsemen. These guys know how to cut a ring in half and know how to kick a little bit of ass. So I hope that Joey and Trevor, which are great athletes, but I hope they pack their lunch. And this was kind of a surprise. We threw this show up. We were trying to get it going since Thanksgiving, but we just couldn't find a venue to hold it. So I hope no one got a little soft and skipped out on the treadmill and whatnot, because come this Sunday, December 16th at the North Tavern, I think everybody's going to bring their A game. O'Hagan stays in shape 24/7. He's always running around. He came to the training center this past week, and there was a couple of new guys there like, man, what is he on? I said, he is on wrestling. He's addicted to it, and he is wide open. A little bit of Red Bull sometimes, but that's the only drug he takes, so that's not really a drug. I'm excited about this match. I'm excited about this whole show. One thing, people sometimes complain, say, oh, I'm out of town on Friday and Saturday. Oh, college football. You have no excuse. These guys at North Tavern will have on the NFL games. There's a great possibility, a great chance, if we get enough people to call and ask, which the number You'll just have to go online and look at the North Tavern. I don't remember what the number is, but they're considering getting the TLC WWE pay-per-view to be shown. So that is not in concrete, and it won't cost a dime more if they decide to do it. But they called me today and asked me if I thought it was a good idea. So I was like, you're going to have wrestling fans. Of course it's a good idea. So that was about the craziest question I've been asked today. But we'll see how that all pans out. But, yeah, Champ, you got anything you want to add in about your big match? You know, Aiden Solo, he's coming in here, and he's the first underground guy to try to take the strap off of you since you beat his mentor, Micah Taylor, the head of the underground.
Do me a favor, guys.
O'Hagan, yes. Before you do that, we got to take our last commercial break of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, you will actually hear that reply and hear from the GCW heavyweight champion as soon as we come back right here on TNT-Radio.net's own The To Be Determined Show.
The following commercial is sponsored by FeedThePig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
see store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
Because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to FeedThePig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Let me drive. How do you know when it's time to give up the keys? When your dog grabs your keys from your lap and your lap is on the floor. Yep, it's Jeff Foxworthy Parade saying, when you party, be sure to designate before you celebrate. If you want to make it home alive, let me drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Please don't drink and drive. It's not fun.
Hi, this is Eric Darnell.
This is David Reagan. Jamie McMurray. This is Carl Edwards here for RAD,
the entertainment industry's voice for road safety.
Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ferry residents, Tooth speaking. Sorry, there's no credit fairy here. What's that? He magically raises your credit score? Yeah, there's no credit fairy. But you can improve your credit by paying bills on time and keeping your credit card balances low. Money under your pillow? Sorry, kids only.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there is help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org. Brought to you by the Consumer Bankers Foundation, the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are going to go back to the question asked to the GCW Heavyweight Champion about his upcoming match this Sunday at the Wounded Warriors Charity Benefit Show at the Northern Tavern against the Underground's own Aiden Solo. Sir.
Well, first I'd like to mention one of the reasons why I'm very excited about this program is my grandfather was wounded in World War II while serving in the Navy, and I know that he didn't really get the best treatment when he came home and was injured, and I know that, you know, my parents didn't really have the best of Christmases growing up dealing with his injury and stuff, so being able to help out a cause like this, knowing how it affected, you know, our family and my mom and stuff growing up, you know, this is a kind of a big thing for me. I'm really kind of proud to be a part of this. As far as Aiden Solo, he's come a long way since first stepping in the ring at GCW, and he's done a lot, but I don't think he's done enough, and he's going to see that his ego's a little bigger than he thinks he is. So come Sunday afternoon, he'll be doing just what his mentor did, and that's tapping out in the middle of the ring.
Oh, I love it. He's still got the fire, ladies and gentlemen. You know, but all the success he's had has been a tag team wrestler. He's a former GCW tag team champion. He was with Spiral and then Mudbone, and you know, Aiden Solo. Let's see if he stands up to his name. Can he stand toe to toe with the GCW heavyweight champion, Mr. O'Hagan? It's your first title defense, man. We'll just, you know, I know you thought that we were off to January 5th, but you're ready to go, and I know you're ready for this Sunday on December 16th. You know, wrestling is alive and well, and it will be at the North Tavern this Sunday. 4:30 doors. Everybody's going to be out for a little autograph session and a little meet and greet, and then at 6 o'clock the bell will ring and we will have that first match. And, you know, there's something for everybody. We got a ladies match. We don't call them divas. It's a ladies match featuring Octavia and the Island Girl, Tracy Taylor. You know, like I said earlier, the GCW Tag Team Championship Full Throttle, Unlucky Charms, managed by the Oracle Omnis. We're talking about Mr. Wicked Nemesis himself and Mr. O'Hagan, Aiden Solo. But Luke Gallows, former WWE superstar, now part of TNA Impact Wrestling. Come out and check the Director of Chaos, but we will know him as Luke Gallows this Sunday as he takes on Micah Taylor. You know, these guys got a little bit of history going back to Deep South Wrestling and, you know, the WWE developmental area. So that's when he was the freaking Deacon. So come out and see Luke Gallows in action, taking on Micah Taylor, former GCW heavyweight. Actually, both these guys are former GCW heavyweight champions. I can't forget about that. Gallows was champion for a bit, but that was a different story for a different day. You got any other questions for me, sir? We're wide open.
Well, actually, I want to make a little statement, if you will, sir. You know that Micah Taylor and Luke Gallows, this is a true hate that they have. There's true animosity for one reason. Luke Gallows could have come and he could have picked anybody on the roster that he wanted to face. He could have went for the GCW heavyweight champion, O'Hagan, but instead he chose to go after the person that I believe doesn't he blame him for losing the title? Am I wrong on this? Or do we blame JJ and everybody else for this?
No, he actually that was a little bit of, we'll say, the brotherhood, we'll say. At that time we got a little bit of a Freebird rule, and he didn't ever really relinquish the title, but he gave me his blessing to take on Micah, and that was when I was a little bit on the angrier side. And yeah, we did wreak a little havoc on the Taylor family, but I've tried to clean up my act a little bit, but we'll see what happens with Gallows and Micah Taylor. You know, I actually had a little feud with Luke Gallows around this time last year in Stockbridge, Georgia. So we got a little nose to nose and threw some punches, because it was the end of a match with one of the guys from up north, Jake the Machine something, I can't remember what it was, and they had this feud for 3 or 4 months, and they'd beat each other with barbed wire and chairs and tacks and broken tables and glass, and I mean, it was like Terry Funk and Mick Foley. And at the end of the match, they hug each other. I get the microphone and go crazy and just start shooting on them. That, you know, if I wanted a kissing booth, I'd wait till Valentine's Day. And I was like, are you serious? Are you really seriously going to do this in this ring? You've wrestled each other for 4 months, you bled all over this place, and now you're going to hug? What the hell? And he came after me, and we fought all over the building. And I haven't seen him since. That's not true. I saw him at the World of Wills. We did the autograph session at the World of Wills in Birmingham last year, and he came in and wrestled for GCW on a show in Jasper, Alabama. So yeah, we have seen each other since then. So there won't be any bad blood, or maybe there is. I don't know. You never know who's gonna like you and love you and hate you. 1 second they're putting you over, next one they're putting the boots to you.
He still doesn't like me because he's mad because I'm a better looking bald guy.
There it goes. O'Hagan, now you are a fighting champion. You are taking on all comers. Aiden Solo. What can we expect? I mean, not to give too much away of this main event of O'Hagan against Aiden Solo. Once again, you putting the GCW Heavyweight Championship on the line in such short notice, sir.
Oh, I'll defend the title on the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, two times each night. I don't care. I don't know if people know this or not, but my cardio is phenomenal. Like phenomenal.
It's kind of a big deal.
I have many fine leather-bound books. My house smells of rich mahogany. But I mean, I can go for days, and anybody who wants to get in the ring, I will gladly prove that. Aiden Solo wants to be the first one to step up. That's fine, but one thing is going to happen, and that's for sure. I'm going to separate his shoulder. I'm going to dislocate his elbow, and I'm going to make him cry.
Oh my goodness! It sounds like somebody's crying right now. Lord have mercy.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I know. Perfect timing. Good job, Lilith. But Tasha, you've seen Octavia. You've seen Tracy's work.
I actually haven't. Never heard of her before you talked about her.
Oh, you've never heard? Okay. Well, you've seen Tracy's work. Any helpful advice you can give to Octavia in this match against Tracy?
Show up to the building on time. I remember you fussing about her not showing up on time.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yeah, I sure as fuck did.
That would be my biggest suggestion, especially for something like this, because it's for the wounded warriors. And if I hear that she didn't show up on time, I'll personally go to wherever she is and kick her ass myself.
You heard that. You heard that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a question that we have asked, and I want to get everybody's... first of all, Eddie, if you will, play the clip of the week. Each week we have a clip of the week, and this is our clip of the week, sir.
I'm hoping it's the one we just talked about.
I thought this was supposed to be a family show.
This is supposed to be a family show.
This one isn't.
This coming from Vince McMahon about the situation with Vicky Guerrero having a ache or a muscle spasm, something, and Great Khali and Hornswoggle helping her stretch, and Vince McMahon walking in on it, appearing to her being double teamed in a sexual manner by these two.
It would have to be those two.
With that being said, about this being a family show, and we all know it doesn't necessarily have to be a family show. We can keep it with a tavern. A tavern. Mad Dog, have you had any resistance about this being at a tavern?
There's always somebody wanting to stir something with me and the wrestling world at all times. It's not just me. But you got to get some thick skin when you step out there. I got folks that, I'm a Christian guy, but I make mistakes and say things every day that I shouldn't say, and I hit people I shouldn't hit sometimes. But I think if everyone understands that it's a restaurant that does have the availability of purchasing a alcoholic beverage if you're 21 or older, it's like going to the movies. They pretty much got everything under the sun now. They serve pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, etc. That don't mean I have to have any of those things, or if I want them, I can get them. But some people are a little concerned about all ages show, but it's not going to change the quality of the wrestling. It's not going to change the way that we perform. This is an open forum when we have the To Be Determined show. I say what I think, and I appreciate you allowing my grievances, and say whatever I want, and I respect you for that. But I think that don't worry about it. But yeah, there have been some questions raised, and of course, there's always the peanut gallery that doesn't even come to see the show. That when I add their 2 cents, they'll say they'll be there because there is alcohol served. Well, come on down. The price is right. It's $10 at the door. You're not going to get any red carpet rolled out for you, and we'll see what you got.
For velvet ropes.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that shit. Anyways, before really quick, we want you guys. We have a segment coming up that I want you both to be involved in because it all associates since we're all in the business, and Eddie's been in the business 542,000.3 years.
Yay!
Tell everyone really quick the address, bell time, and et cetera, please, Mr. Sawyer.
All right, we're looking at this Sunday, December 16th, 2012, North Tavern over in Trussville, Alabama. Come on down, check it out. 4:30 is the doors, 6 o'clock bell time. Tickets are only $10. 7 big matches. Go to gcwpro.com to get the full lineup. Former WWE superstar Luke Gallows taking on Micah Taylor, Mr. Hagen, being challenged by Aiden Silva for the GCW Heavyweight Championship. Unlucky Charms being challenged by Full Throttle. Latino sensation Antonio Garza, Connor McAdams, Burning Jake Cole versus Cousin Redneck Amos Moses, Octavia versus Taylor. Come on out. The Nature Boy Paul Lee, Wicked Nemesis' favorite wrestler, will be there. Scotty Blaze versus Psycho Circus, Shane Fox versus the Equalizer. And sorry, that's Nature Boy Paul Lee will be taking on Cousin Redneck Amos Moses.
Thank you.
And Burning Jake Cole's taking on the New Sensation Steve Style. So.
And if
yada, yada, yada. It's going to be good. GCWPro.com. Wounded Warrior. This is the kids of the Wounded Warrior. Come on out, help a good cause. Enjoy a great wrestling match. It's an early show on Sunday evening. So, the North Tavern's got fantastic food. If you're really hungry, they got a 2-pound burger called the Stonewall. It's legit 2 pounds.
I'm there.
After it's cooked. And I think it's a little pricey, but come and check that out. It's great food. Chicken Alfredo. They got ribeye steaks. They got everything. They got live entertainment Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And, Deputy Five's there this Saturday and tomorrow night, the Wayne Mills Band. Can't remember who's there on Friday. Sorry, guys. But, the big one is GCW Pro Wrestling, the best in independent wrestling in Alabama. Come check it out this Sunday, December 16th at the North Tavern.
Let me jump in real quick. The address is 5712 Chalkville Road. That is a Birmingham address. It'll come up that way, but Google Nav will get you there. Also, the telephone number, in case you want to call just to double check on everything. Also ask about the pay-per-view. It's area code 205-853-3245. That's 205-853-3245. Wick?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while there's some shit that goes down that must be brought up. Mad Dog, I almost called you Blur again. God almighty, man, I'm so sorry. O'Hagan.
We're going to take you to Wrestler's Court if you don't give his name.
Yes, O'Hagan. Would you guys be willing to be part of Wrestler's Court? Yes.
Damn right.
Wrestler's Court, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestler's Court, the sped up edition. Sorry, I wanted a little bit more time, but we're going to go with this. Tasha, is there anyone you'd like to bring up on Wrestler's Court this week?
Wow, the list is long. But, since we were talking about people going on and asking for things on Amazon and asking for money, yes, I am going to call on, I'm going to call 2 people up. Whoever decided to name some dumb broad that used to wrestle with Sex Kitten Kathy the new Moondog Mimi. That's totally disrespectful to the Moondogs. They are guilty of disrespect to one of the greatest brawling gimmicks of all time. And I want to call on to Wrestler's Court Rachel Sheridan, Pandora, not Pandora from Georgia, Pandora from England, Miss Rachel, whatever they call her now, for going online and begging for money and then turning around and saying, I am a professional wrestler by trade, I do this for a living. You make us look like an idiot saying you do this for a living and then begging for people to give you money to pay your bills.
Ooh. Now, Would anybody on this line like to defend what she just said?
I would like to add something.
O'Hagan, please do.
Okay. I personally, and from my personal experience, I have 4 children. I have worked a corporate job for a major company. I have many things I do outside of the wrestling business. I teach small children to dance. I mean, I have multiple incomes that come to me, but this business is not always the fast track to money.
Amen.
So when traveling the roads, which I love to do, and I make sure that the trips are fun, whether I'm breakdancing to a
Kesha,
a Kesha or whatever I'm doing, I have fun. But
Gangnam Style.
now there are some people who do beg, and I agree with her. There are people out there who just want the easy money, who just want gifts, who want that. Those people, I don't really have a lot of respect for. But there are people out there that do pay a lot of bills, who work their butts off, and they sacrifice a lot. And when I say a lot, to go on these road trips, to go, from state to state to do things. And it does end up costing a lot of money to do these things. So, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. The people that just want to beg because they just want the money to pay their bills, that's one thing. But, like I said, there are people out there who doing what they love does take a toll on certain things. So I can see it being one way, but as far as she's saying asking for gifts on Amazon, asking for things like that's a little much. Someone doesn't need a new fur coat or a new bathing suit to be a pro wrestler, but
Well, let me clarify what I'm saying about this particular person that I'm calling out, who, by the way, I have considered a friend for some time. She does not work. Her husband does not work. They say, this is what I do for a living. She does custom matches, which I absolutely cannot stand. I do not believe in customs. I think they destroy the business. If somebody wants to go on and say, buy me something on Amazon, and we just had this discussion with Corey, I did that. But I also said it's in lieu of saying, pay me for my old tights. Because there are fans who are always wanting tights from the girls that we have worn in the ring. My deal is, here's my Amazon wish list. You buy me something off of my wish list, you get a set of these tights. And I have 3 sets. Well, I have 2 now because one's gone. But this girl actually says, buy my daughter diapers. Send me money to pay my bills because all we do is wrestle.
Order in the court.
No, I totally agree with that. I was just going to say, I agree with that. You know what? I personally understand, like, if you can't buy your kids diapers, then maybe it's time to go work at McDonald's.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Exactly.
And once again, I will say this because she has actually been brought up in wrestler's court for real. She is found guilty, and her fat ass should quit fucking using that name because she's foot down her throat, and we mean it. She is about 800 pounds, and she shouldn't be called Pandora. She should be called Fat Fucking Pig, Burn Your Fucking Tights. Okay, love. Now, with that being said, Mad Dog Dancer.
She's 800. Wait a minute, she's 800 pounds, and she's doing customs.
Tasha, huge.
She has lost weight, but she is always going to be a big girl. Truly. Yeah, she's a very big girl. And I will say this, when she wants to, can be a very good wrestler.
Well, wants to and can to are 2 totally different things. You know that.
Totally agree. I totally agree.
Would anybody else like to bring some charges up upon anybody? Mad Dog?
No, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with the folks in the business right now. I feel pretty good.
Okay, we'll keep it that way. No heat on Mad Dog. Fast City Lane. Anybody like to bring up on charges? Quickly.
I'll pass because there's something I actually want to give praise to in just a minute when we get done with Wrestlers Court.
Well, we're not going to have much fucking time, I promise you that. O'Hagan, anybody you'd like to bring up on Wrestlers Court?
Oh, the list is long. The list is so long.
Quickly, sir.
You know what? I'm going to defer till next week. I'll call you next week just for this.
Okay, and we'll hold you to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the court very quickly a very something very near and dear to my heart. Going out and totally ripping off a fucking legend. Whether you like Ric Flair or whether you fucking don't. We all know Ric Flair was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. We all know this shit. Nature Boy Buddy Lindo. These guys were somebody. If you're a fucking busted nut, fucking piece of shit, with a fucking cum stain on the goddamn fucking business of this motherfucking place, and you want to go and you want to be completely a ripoff, running around completely dressed as this motherfucker, dyeing your hair back, knowing for a fact that everybody considers you, and then to fucking call me a Red Rooster Mark. Let me fucking tell you something, you fucking piece of shit. Terry Taylor is a Wicked Nemesis fan. You don't fucking believe me? Go ask him. He worked a fucking match, and he was on a card with Orion Bishop and myself, and he's like, you guys have something. I said, I know that. He had a faux hawk as a Red Rooster. I have a God hawk. Two totally, completely different fucking things. If anybody wants to defend this fucking piece of shit, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Nay.
I didn't fucking think so. And I know exactly why he's on this card, and I'm not going to say it because it's none of my business too. But I will say this. This motherfucker right here has a rib coming to him. And I'm going ahead and fucking tell you right now. You can say whatever the fuck you want to. It's going to happen. I'm calling it right now. And if
Dreamland ain't got nothing about what's about to happen to him, right?
Hell no. You're exactly right. Oh boy. And I want to say this really quick. David Young, I love you. And this is my gift to you. There was somebody that tried to do some foul shit to me, and David Young did this exact same rib. It's going to happen, and I'm telling you guys right now, I don't give a fuck. Hey guy, it was me. You may never hear this. I don't give a shit. But you got something coming to you, kid. 30 years in the business. If you've been in business 30 years, you know what? Then you should fucking know better than to be the Nature Boy anything. Case closed. Guilty as charged. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Mad Dog, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, really quickly?
Just go to gcwpro.com and look up the information, and there is a email address on there, and you can find out about the Mad Dog's House of Fame Pro Wrestling School, the only licensed wrestling school in the state of Alabama. There's nobody else will pay the bills. But come out and check out this show December 16th, this Sunday, North Tavern, over in Trustful, Alabama. 7 big matches: Luke Gallows, Micah Taylor, GCW Heavyweight Champion, Mr. O'Hagan, and Blur. You almost had me do it. Taking on Aiden Solo, Unlucky Charms, GCW Tag Team Champions with Full Throttle with the Wicked Nemesis.
O'Hagan, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir?
You can follow me at O'Hagan GCW on Twitter and Joshua O'Hagan on Facebook. I don't know the URL, but if you can't type in Joshua O'Hagan in a little search box on Facebook and find me, then you probably need to go to a class and learn how to use a computer.
Tasha, how can everyone get in touch with you?
I should have TashaSimone.com up and running and published sometime this weekend. In the meantime, all of my peeps can follow me on my controversial stuff on Twitter, Tasha Simone NWA, and I'm kind of like O'Hagan. You can find me on Twitter by typing in Tasha Simone. I'll be the cute one with the belt over my shoulder, even though they have a fake champion now for the NWA.
Eddie, how can everyone get in touch with you?
Find me on Twitter at FastEddieLane, LAYNE, also Facebook.com/FastEddieLane, and FastEddieLane.com. And of course, I'll let you take it from there.
Well, right now there's a YouTube stream, a Ustream going through, and it'll probably upload to YouTube very soon when it's archived at Wicked Nemesis. As you can see on Twitter right now, Bam Eddie will be the time. Throw up a very nice picture of me, if you will, sometime very quickly.
I've been doing it the whole show.
Find us out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. The To Be Determined show right here, TNT-radio.net. Thank you, O'Hagan. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Mad Dog. Thank you, Orion Bishop. Thank you for everybody that's listened. My dream match, Doomsday match really quick. Dudley Boys, LOD, and the Steiner Brothers all in their prime to find out greatest tag team of all time. Join us every Wednesday night right here, TNT-radio.net. Sunday, Beyond Ringside will not air because we will be kicking butt and taking names at the Northern Tavern. Northern Tavern? Yes.
North Tavern.
Come see us. North Tavern. I'm sorry. Don't crucify me upside down, please. That's what I'm going to do to Buddy Lee. Oh, no. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Buddy just died, so it's okay.
There you go.
Oh, God. Lord have mercy. David Christopher, make the choir concert. See you all later.
Oh.
Sorry, how far did we go over?